Hi lovelies, welcome to my life and tarot. I have a story time and also a question for you. Let me start with a story. As we have these winter cold freezing holidays right here right now because the weather outside is really cold and it was minus 33 degrees Celsius outside today. On the daytime, I'm not sure how much is it right now because I'm indoors and it is chilly here. I haven't been here for a while and it is hard to get warmth into this place because it's not much insulated. It's an old building and it's insulated probably with moss when it was built 100 years ago. So I'm trying to make all my videos in one sitting because we have the school holidays also, which means all my family is at home and there are so many people and everyone is everywhere, so I can't make any videos at home right now. But story time is this. This weather has forced me to stay inside more than I usually walk outside. I come here, I do my own things, I create something or I tinker on something, but these types of weather are the worst, so to speak. I can't go outside much, and so I thought that this is a great opportunity to think, maybe make some plans, and the weather has forced me to look more into things because it has forced to take the time out from other things. So I have usually pretty busy times. Right now I have nothing to do because I can't do much. So I drew, like I said in one of my videos, I think it was the confessions, that the Deirdre's deck of sorrows that has been with me not long ago is an interesting deck because it has been showing mostly majors, not only for myself but also in a client readings. It shows a lot of majors, which is really interesting. I haven't seen it with any other deck that the majors are so overpowering the reading, which means the deck has nature and attitude and strength in it. But I took 3 cards for myself and they are all majors and they came out in this order: Hangman, the World, and Judgment. So judgment for me is self-judging, like looking through your things, because judgment is before the world will turn again. This is the last opportunity or the last step before starting the new circle, to assess things, to think through your actions and evaluate on yourself and your future plans. In order to move on, you have to evaluate. So the judgment is speaking of that to me. With the Hanged Man, it talks about looking at this judgment and new plans through totally different perspective than before. In order to get this going, the world moving, the new cycle beginning, I have to not only assess and make conclusions, I have to do them from a different perspective than I usually am doing. So this has given me a lot of thinking material, and today I pulled 3 cards from the Deidre's deck of sorrow. It was a day before today, day before yesterday. So, and from the Enochian Tarot I pulled these cards. The Eruption, which is actually Archangels of Earth. You can see the volcanic eruption here. The 5th Senior of Fire. You can see him manifesting, the inner fire is burning. This is a powerful card. The things are getting new starts, and the mishmash in the other hand here, he is getting solved. And the Babe, or the Fool card in this deck, meaning, or the new start, new beginning, new baby. And in the light of this, considering the 3 cards I got from there, and considering I have to sit down and think about things right now, I'm forced to do that, or not forced, but I have taken away, I've been taken away all my busy, so I can do this. Now is the time I can do this. And from this, I suddenly got this revelation, or the idea, that I've been assuming a lot. I've been thinking that everyone knows everything already about tarot, and as I come from the playing cards and from the pips actually, and got myself into tarot with Rider-Waite, trying to push away all the pips and all the playing cards, because all the imagery and the Rider-Waite system-ish things that the illustrated and active action-filled minors are my thing. But now, 6 months ago, I realized that actually I need pips in my life. I need playing cards. I haven't been using playing cards still a lot, I must confess, because 10+ years I used only playing cards because I didn't have any tarot decks available around here. It was a Soviet era, which means everything this was banned and like taboo and forbidden, and you can't just go and buy a deck. And when it became available later on, I some time later made myself a deck and purchased a deck, and I got into the Rider-Waite from there, and slowly walked away from the playing cards and decided not even to look back, because all this that tarot has been opening for me has widened my perspective so much more than the playing cards did. But my assumption was that everyone already knows everything, and I don't have to repeat or show or tell anything. But these cards made me think that maybe there is someone out there, because I've seen a lot of people tilting towards Marseille and old Italian decks lately that didn't want to look at the pips even before. And as I have a decade of pips under my, how is it said in English even, in my pocket, so to speak, in my resume. So maybe And this is the question part now, the story time hold. And this is the question, maybe there are some of people that actually want me to show and tell about how I read the pip decks, how to get yourself into pip decks, and stuff like that. Because I've been assuming that people who know already know those things, and people who learn probably will get those ideas and things everywhere else. But I think I have a few things that I can bring to this party also, because of how I see things. We all see things differently, and what comes to pip techs, this is like the whole new world of thinking differently. And if you come from Rider White, it's maybe a little bit harder, because you are like making these connections between two different systems, which is not forbidden. Also, if you want, you can use the Rider White meanings on pips also. This is your style, this is your deck, do it how you feel. Some people create their own meanings to the pips, and this is your world. This is how you read. If you have agreed with your cards that this means that and this means this, then this is how you read. This is how it works. And long story short, all those cards showed me that maybe this is the different perspective. Maybe I have been like thinking that everyone knows everything, and I've been holding off like these tutorial or teaching things, because this has been like I have felt the whole information is out there already for the ones who want to receive it and to get it, and this is not like there's need for my input into this. So this what I figured out in my own head. And also the Enochian tarot, like manifesting new things from the stillness, and as the volcanic eruption usually creates this temporary chaos, but it also redoes or modifies the earth and everything around it. So, and it comes through the inner fire, and a manifesting and putting your knowledge and your power out there comes a new thing. So this is what my take is from those cards, to evaluate what have I been doing, where I'm going with this channel. I know we will be a lot of outdoors in the summer and in the spring, and making all kinds of not tarot related things per se, but if they are tarot related, I am really a little bit tired of all those hashtags, because for me many of the questions are already repeating themselves, and there's a limit of answering the same questions which are maybe worded differently, but the tags are holding me at least off from the real topics, the topics of how to, the topics of learning, the topics of sharing, and the topics of getting deeper into whatever decks we have. So this has been happening, and I am a little bit not guilty, but a little bit ashamed of the way that I've been lately assuming things, and how they have been backfiring. And if I can't learn from it, from other areas also, then I will be getting these backfires all the time. So assumption is a mother of all fuck-ups, is the Murphy's Law, if I remember it correctly. So I'm trying assume a little bit less in the future, and maybe do the thing that I thought I maybe am good at or I can do. I have had questions in December or November, I think, where I had asked if I can show how I use the system I created throughout the years with playing cards. I promise I will do that also. All those tags and all those decks coming in has really taken my time and focus of the getting into decks aspect, and I really actually want to just talk about different cards and meanings and what are those evoking within us, numerology. So look at this. This doesn't say much at the first glance, right? Or maybe trying to get something, again, coins. So this, here's a little bit more, but still from the get-go it doesn't say much. And or this maybe. This also tells a little bit more, but still it, in the Rider-Waite person point of view, it doesn't say much. So these things, let me know the question part, that if I should go for it or what you think. I think I will go for it anyways, but not that full on if there's no like actual need for it, or yeah, these things, because I know there are so many wonderful channels to Tom Benjamin, for example, awesome source where to see how a person can make the deck speak to himself through his own words, not for the meanings that have set 100 years ago, for example. That things evolve, we evolve with the decks, and if we agree upon meanings on some decks that either are numerology or whateverology or the astrology, you know, something, you connect yourself with something system and you create your own system from it. This is how the pips work, and this is why the pips are much wider than the already drawn out images of the Rider-Waite-Smith system, for example. Also, there is so much to actually look after for and to learn from, not the usual meanings, but for me the Rider-Waite came without books, without anything. I just had the deck without little white book, anything. I just colored myself into the Rider-Waite system, and so I saw a lot of details and I got into every single card through the coloring process. So I created my own mind about this and that, what this means or what that means, and this is how I also teach tarot things around here. So and I have learned a lot from my students also, because they see things sometimes differently and point out things that they see in them. And this is teaching me that we all see things from our own perspective, and if we agree upon our own deck, meaning something, and we stick to that, not being everywhere at the same time, all over the place, this then becomes a system of yours. I'm not even sure where I'm going now with this, but story time and question all was here. It's laid out, it's thrown out there. If you think you have an answer for me, please let me know in the comments. And this is it. Have a wonderful day, night, week, and whole year. Thank you for watching, and bye.